Hi there, and thank you for tuning in to another cooking video. Today I'm going to do chicken fricassee, which is basically a sort of creamy chicken stew, which originates in France and has been adopted by many countries around the world. It's easy to make, and it provides a great meal that everyone can enjoy. So here's a list of ingredients. It's very straightforward and everything is available at your local supermarket. So let's get on and I'll show you how to put together this delicious meal. So we're going to start off by slicing 1.5 onions. These are medium-sized brown onions. So you want to just slice them fairly thinly, but not too thinly. I think it's interesting to note that during the Middle Ages, onions were actually a highly prized commodity because of their dietary and medicinal properties. You could actually pay your rent using a bag of onions, and you could buy things like goats and pigs and chickens with onions because they were that valuable. It's interesting. I can't imagine that you could actually pay your rent with a bag of onions these days, because I think your landlord would just call in the bailiffs or something. But it's certainly interesting to note. They actually originated in Asia and sort of expanded into the European ecosystem, for want of a better word. And they certainly make up part of very many dishes around the world. Anyway, once you've sliced your onions, then just pop them in a bowl and put them to one side, because they'll go into the pot a bit later on. They're going to be fried. Okay, so we'll do the mushrooms next. Now I'm using 150 grams of button mushrooms. If you've got bigger mushrooms, then quarter them. But with button mushrooms, you just need to halve them. So we're just going to cut them in half after giving them a good old wash. And then pop them in a bowl, like with the onions, and save them for when we actually start making the sauce. I don't have any historical facts on mushrooms, sorry. Right, now we've got some tarragon. We're just going to chop up a handful of tarragon. This actually enhances chicken, or goes with chicken really well. We're just going to chop it up fairly finely, and then we will put it into the we will add it into the dish sort of right at the end of the cooking time. First of all, what I generally do is just break all the leaves off the stalks, because the stalks tend to be quite twiggy or twig-like. So just break the leaves off and then chop up the leaves, much as if you would with parsley or something like that. Next we'll need 2 garlic cloves. So I'm just peeling a couple of garlic cloves here. I'm going to keep them whole and then just crush them into the sauce as we're making it on the hob. So just take the skins off and put them to one side. And we'll just use a garlic crusher when we need it. We're going to fry the chicken thighs in butter because the sauce is a cream-based sauce. It mixes very well with butter as opposed to oil. So we're just going to weigh out 50 grams of butter, put it on a side plate, and then that is what we're going to actually use for frying. Whilst we're actually cooking the sauce, we need to add some herbs. So we've got 2 bay leaves, some thyme. We're going to keep them whole, and also some parsley. Basically what we're going to do is just put this in the sauce as we're cooking it, and then take them out before we dish it up. So now we're going to make some stock. I use about 400 milliliters of chicken stock. So just follow the package instructions on how to make the stock up. I think I use 5 teaspoons of powder to 400 milliliters of boiling water. Then stir it all up, put it to one side, and that will go into the sauce later on, which you'll see as the video progresses. I always preheat these jugs first because I know they're Pyrex, but I just don't want to risk cracking them. You put boiling water into a cold jug, then you run a risk, as far as I'm concerned anyway. I'm sure Pyrex is very good and that won't happen, but I just don't want to risk it. So that's the gravy done. Now it's time for the chicken. So we've got 4 chicken thighs here. And all we're going to do at this stage is just season them. So I'm going to use salt and pepper. After drying them a bit, just dry them with a bit of kitchen towel. So you need, I generally use a lot more pepper than I use salt. I don't like things too salty, so because the stock has got a certain amount of salt in as well, the chicken stock. So a bit of salt and quite a bit more pepper. You're going to do both sides. So once you've done one side, just turn it over. You'll notice that these thighs are with the skin and the bone. That actually helps to retain the moisture in the chicken when you're cooking it. Skinless and boneless tends to dry out, or can dry out if you overcook it, whereas with the bone in and the skin on, it doesn't dry out so much. Now we're going to put the butter in our cooking pot. So as an accompaniment for the meal, you can use rice if you want. I mean, you can probably use whatever you want. But for this particular meal, I've decided to use baby spuds and some Tenderstem broccoli with some asparagus tips. And I'm just going to steam them. Spuds I generally steam for about 35 minutes. And the veggies I'll steam for about 10 minutes, probably 8 minutes actually. I'm just going to sort of trim them to size because they're a bit long. So I'm just trimming the asparagus there. So that's all getting popped into the steamer. And with the broccoli, I'm just going to cut the leaves off, I'll pull the leaves off and just cut the stems to a reasonable length. Just give them a quick wash. to your veggies. Right, so we're now going to fry the chicken. So basically I'm just melting the 50 grams of butter into the pot. Set it on a medium heat. And then we're going to add the chicken, skin side down, and fry it for about 6 minutes. Whilst you're doing this, you can see the steam coming from the steamer. I'm just heating the water up. And then you can steam the veggies and the potatoes at the same time as you're cooking this. Just move them around through your 6 minutes. Once they're done on one side, just turn them over and do them for another 4 minutes. I tend to keep moving them around just so that they don't stick. We'll get quite a bit of fat rendered out of the chicken, but that all adds to the flavour. You can hear woofing in the background. That is the dog, our Nala, having doggy dreams, probably dreaming of chicken. Once your chicken's done, then just take it out, put it on a plate to one side. So now we're going to add the onions and also the mushrooms as well. So just pop them in the pot. You're going to fry these probably for about 5-6 minutes until the mushrooms sort of turn a light golden colour. You've just got to mix them together and just keep moving them around in the pot. Now just add the herbs which we put on the side plate earlier into the pot. These are the ones we are going to fish out at the end. Stir it all in. As I said, cook it for about 5 minutes until the mushrooms are sort of golden colour. After the 5 minutes are done, just crush in the garlic cloves, 2 garlic cloves. Mix that in. Right, towards the end of that time you want to add about 2 tablespoons of flour and then mix that in for about a minute just to get rid of the floury taste. And after that is when you're going to add your stock and your wine. This just thickens it up a bit and makes a good base for when you put your liquids in. I want to turn the hob down slightly so that when things boil it just comes to a simmer. So add your 400 milliliters of chicken stock, stir it all in. And then 150 mils of white wine. I always use a nice Chardonnay for this because Chardonnay sort of gives it the right flavour for the sauce. And season with a bit of salt and pepper. Again, not too much salt, a bit more pepper. So once it's all simmering away, then you need to return the chicken back to the pot. You have skin side up this time. Move it around a little bit, and now we're going to cook it for 10 minutes with the lid on. Set your timer and let it cook for 10 minutes with the lid on, simmering away. Once that time's done, just take your lid off. Stir it around a bit. And now what we're going to do is carry on simmering it, but with the lid off. This will allow the sauce to thicken up a bit. So 20 minutes with the lid off, simmering away. And once that's done, just take your chicken out again. I think the chicken doesn't know whether it's coming or going, it just keeps going in and out of the pot. So now we're going to add our 150 milliliters of double cream. And stir that all in and bring back to the simmer again. Just take the opportunity when you can to remove any of the bay leaves, the parsley and the thyme which you put in. Now return the chicken back to the pot. just move it around a bit. What I tend to do here is just leave it on the hob for a bit until you've got everything ready for dishing up. So you've just added the tarragon. This goes in right at the end. Mix it in. It'll be pretty much ready to serve up. Okay, now it's serving up time, so just take your veggies and your potatoes off the steamer. Give them a good old shake, get rid of any water. Add your plates. So just start dishing up. Very nice meal, this. Absolutely love chicken fricassee. As I said before, you could probably have this with rice or other accompaniments. It's probably quite nice with rice, actually. But today I just chose baby potatoes with the veggies. I tend to put the potatoes and the veggies on first and then the chicken afterwards, and then you can add the sauce on top. So now put the chicken on. There's only the two of us, so I've just done 2 chicken thighs each.
What a mess.
I suppose bringing the plate to the pot would make less mess, but I was never very good at serving up. It's always a messy job with me. Love cooking, don't like serving up. And just add your sauce. And obviously there's still a few twigs and other bits of foliage in there, but you just need to pick them out.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, no.
Lovely. It's always a good idea to warm your plates up before you actually serve your food.
I think I've taken the bay leaves out.
It just stops things from chilling down too quickly. Now we're going to have a bit of a photo shoot before I finish the video off. This is just to take a few photographs. It does look a bit messy, doesn't it? Never mind. It tastes very nice. So there you have chicken fricassee. It's very easy to make. It doesn't take too much time, and it's delicious to eat. So, if you made it this far, then thank you very much. If you like the video, then please hit the like button. And if you want to see notifications of future videos coming out, then please subscribe. That would be very much appreciated. Thank you so much for your time, and hopefully see you next time. Bye for now.